Hey guys, okay, welcome to another workout with core moves. Today is an active stretch and recovery day and we're going to focus on Pilates. And the focus for today is just to work the body in all planes of movement, just to lengthen and relax and stretch the body out. And we're going to do some of my favorite Pilates exercises today. So we're going to start just standing up on our mat and just get our feet directly underneath our sit bones and pull the toes away from the floor. And just take a minute to think about the feet. And while those toes are pulling up towards the floor, then draw that feeling up through the front of the thighs, into the glutes, into the navel, into the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back, pull the belly in, lift the head, everything lifting up towards the ceiling and lengthening. And then spread those toes, place them into the ground and feel that deep connection with the floor. We're going to warm up the knees and the shoulders as we bend the knees and sweep the hands up overhead and then push into the feet and draw the hands back to the hips. Turn the palms forward, bend the knees, sweep the hands overhead, straighten the legs, bring the hands back in line with the feet. Palms face the thighs, bend and reach. Push into the floor, palms face forward, bend and reach. Keep that rib cage down, push into the floor. One more time forward, bend and reach. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, lift the pelvic floor, draw up on those quads. Every single time you move the body and into the side. And this time we're going to lift the heels as we sweep the hands overhead and lower the heels as we draw the hands out wide. Lift the heels, keep the rib cage down, circle them out wide. Lift the heels, palms face forward, stretch those fingertips wide, really waking up those shoulders. Last one, and fingertips face wide. This time we're going to turn our feet out to first position and soften the knees as we spread those hands out to the side. So we are in a first position, but our heels are separated because they're at hip distance. And the hands go out to the side, and then just bend the elbows and pull the elbows down towards your hips. Straighten the legs, reach the hands up. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Reach, push into those legs, squeeze the glutes. Find the inner thighs as you straighten the body up and reach and extend those hands. Bend it down. And reach. Two more for me. Pull it in. Reach it up. And reach, and then circle the arms out wide to the side and open the heels so the feet are a little bit wider now. From here, we're just going to bend the knees slightly and then pull the heels away from the floor. So you're in this little bit of a chair pose with the heels lifted in your high tendu. And then stretch the arms out to the side and then bring them in front of the body. Really control the stability in the legs as you open and close the shoulders. Reach those fingers out wide. Keep the rib cage down, the core connected. Open and close. One more time. Open and close, and then straighten the legs. Lower the heels, turn those feet out again, and drive the knees out wide to the side. And this time you can adjust your stance if you want to, bringing your heels a little bit wider, and just taking your time, rocking side to sink into this deep lateral squat, or sumo plie, second position wide plie. And then tuck your tail under, lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders. Nod your chin. Let's just hold this plie, roll your head to the right side and to the left and to the right. Relax your toes. Find the weight on the arch of the foot to the left. Keep the core pulled in to the right and to the left. And into center. Now release the plie just a little bit so you come a little bit higher. Let's just start with a nice gentle side bend to the left and up, sweep it over to the right. And up, let the hands move in this sort of windmill fashion, but keep stacking each shoulder on top of each other. No twisting or rotation with these side bends. Just straight over to one side and to the other. And we're going to add on as you bend to the right, straighten the right leg. Come on down over the left, straighten the left leg. Back to center and push into the heel, the glute, the inner thigh, the hamstring to straighten those legs. Breathing, stretching those knees out really nice and wide. Last one to the right. Last one to the left. And then come into center, lift the legs up so you have just a soft little bend. Hands come in front of the chest, hug them together, and we're going to twist. We're going to hug the moon. So just twist to the right like you're hugging a big beach ball. Float the hands up overhead. And then into center, drop the hands. Twist to the left. Lift the hands, keep the shoulders down. Back to center, drop the hands. To the right, and lift. Into center, and lower. To the left, and lift. Keep that pelvic floor lifted and that connection in the hips, in the glutes, strong through those legs. Lift, twist, center, last one, twist, lift, center, and release everything. Walk your feet in till they're stacked directly underneath those sit bones again, and you're facing the front of your mat. We're going to come into our first roll down. So nod your chin, and sequentially peel your spine away from the imaginary wall behind you. Really take your time. We're only going to come as far as our hands touching our knees. So just really allow the time for your spine to relax in this forward bend. And then once your hands touch your knees, begin to bend the knees and then send the tail away, lengthen the spine, come to your neutral and then push into the knees, pull the shoulders down and back, extend the spine into your extended cat stretch or cow. And then curl the tail, scoop the abs, pull the belly in. Look towards the pubic bone. Release the hands, straighten the knees, find the weight over the ankles, and unravel the spine again, one vertebrae at a time, bringing yourself back up to standing. We're going to do that again. Nod the chin. Roll the ribs to the hips. Pull the navel in, lift the pelvic floor gently. Allow your spine to take its time to spread each vertebrae, each intercostal. Bring your hands to your knees. Soften the knees and then begin to lengthen the spine. Push into those knees. Get that connection with the lats and pull the sternum away from the navel. Exhale, tuck the tail under. Stretch out that lower lumbar spine. The middle thoracic spine and then the top. Protracting the shoulders, then soften the knees. Roll the body away from the front of the thighs, stacking yourself up all the way to the top. Nod your chin, exhaling. This time we're going to roll all the way down. So take your time peeling your spine away from that imaginary wall. Soften your knees if you need to once you get past that knee point. And then just soften the knees, bring your hands to the floor, straighten your spine, and lift your body to that halfway lift, but with a gentle bend in the knees. And we're going to bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee and just open the right hand. Slide the left hand towards the right ankle, the right hand up towards the ceiling. And breathe there. And then lift the hand up the shin, come back to your halfway lift and center. And then bring the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Reach the left hand up to the ceiling and slide the right hand down the outside of the left shin. And twist. back up, square the body back towards the center, and come back into your full forward fold. Just stretching out the back of the hips here. Maybe even bend the knees a little bit, and then straighten with your exhale. Bend on your inhale. Straighten with your exhale. One more time. Bend. And straighten, and then softly bend. Look towards the front of your mat and walk your hands out till your hands come on the mat. Your feet, knees are still hovered, and then gently lower the knees and keep them hovered in this crouch position for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, belly is pulled in, 3, 2, 1, straighten the knees, push the hips back, walk the hands back into the toes, back into your forward fold, straighten the knees, and bend. Exhale to straighten, inhale to bend. Exhale to straighten, inhale to bend, look forward, walk the hands forward. Hands under shoulders, knees just to hover, 8, 7, belly in, spine in neutral, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees down, uncurl the feet, push your hips back to your heels, and then pull your belly away from the front of the thighs, stretching into your turtle shell shape. And then come back up onto your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees directly under hips. Adjust yourself if you need to, make your spine long from your tail to your crown of the head. We're just going to slide our left foot back, keep that toe down, and challenge your balance, and then float the leg up. We're going to open it out to the side and close it in, crossing it over and tap it down on the right side. Open it out to the left, tap the floor, lift it up, open, cross it over, tap it behind you and to the right side. Don't let your hips wiggle and shift with this movement. Let it come from the hip, waking up the glutes, the lateral line of the leg, using the core to connect you and keep everything solid and grounded. Keep pushing those hands into the floor. Last one over to the right, and then into center, tap the toe down, pull the knee in, slide the right foot away. Push into the floor, lengthen the spine to neutral, and then lift that leg up, squeezing the glute and reaching the toe away from the hip. Open the hip out to the right, cross it across the midline, and tap it down on the floor behind you to the left. Lift it up to hip height, open to the right, cross it over, tap it back. Open to the right, and this time if you want to tap it on the right, you can tap it down, lift, drawing a little rainbow shape, cross it over and tap. Lift, keep pushing those hands into the floor, squeeze those inner thighs and tap. Pelvic floor drawn in, navel pulled in, spine nice and long, and cross it over. 2 more. Open, using those muscles around the top of the hip. Close it in. Last one. Open. And cross back into center. Tap the foot down. Slide it in. Let's do a hand quadruped cat and cow. So tilt the pelvis forward. Lengthen the sternum away from the navel. Look forward, pull those shoulders back. Make sure you're stretching the spine, not collapsing in the spine, so you're lengthening. And then exhale, tuck it under, push into the floor, round through the spine, look towards your knees. Inhale, this time start from the head. Lengthen the head, pull the shoulders down and back, begin to lift the sternum. The rib cage will start to come forward. The navel will pull away from the sternum, and then send the sit bones up high. Start from the head, not the chin. Look between your hands. Push your hands into the floor. Separate the shoulders, protracting the scapula. Lift the rib cage up to the ceiling. Eye gaze comes towards your knees. And then push and tuck the tail under, eye gaze between the thighs. Let's start from the tail. Send the sit bones away. Lengthen to your neutral. Begin to pull the sternum away from the navel. Pull the shoulders down and back. Lift the chin and the heart away from the hips. Tuck the tail. Scoop the abdominals, keep those shoulders down and back. Begin to curl in the lower back, flatten that out, and then lift the rib cage up towards the ceiling and look towards your thighs. Inhale, come back into center and push your hips back onto your heels and stretch your hands forward. From here, we're coming back into our 4-point kneeling. Fingertips facing forward. And send your left leg away. Send your right leg away. Create this nice, strong, stable plank position. And then on your inhale, push into the balls of your feet and transfer the weight over your wrists. And then exhale, send the heels away and transfer the weight back behind your wrists. Inhale, push it forward. Exhale, bring it back. Keep those shoulders really nice and connected, engaging the lats, rhomboids, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to point those toes. Exhale, bring them back. Inhale to point. Exhale, back. One more time. Pull it forward. Push it back. Lower the right knee. Lower the left knee and push your hips back to your heels. Stretch your hands forward. From here, we're going to come onto our belly. So just drop your elbows, come into this quasi 4-point kneeling, and then slide your right leg back. Your weight is on the top of your foot. You're really going to find that power through the foot. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you, curl the toes under. Otherwise, really find the strength in the whole front of the leg, and then slide the left leg back. We're on the tops of the feet or on the balls of the feet and pushing those elbows into the floor. Now from here, lengthen the sternum, drop the hips, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest into your Sphinx pose or baby cobra. And then push into the hands, lift the elbows off the floor, turn them out to the sides, and lengthen your spine down onto the mat and rest your head in the palm of your hands. Keep that length in the spine, squeezing the glutes. You're just going to kick your big toe into your right glute. Little release, flex the ankle, heel to the glute. Point the toe, lift the knee off the floor as you straighten the leg and reach the foot away. And again on the other side. So pull it in, point, flex, point, lift the knee off the floor, squeeze the glute, and lengthen away. So the knee stays down initially, the glutes are squeezed. We point, flex, point and reach and lift the knee off, just like an inch, and lengthen the leg down. Other side, point, flex, point, reach and lengthen, squeeze the glute, find the hamstring, lengthen that leg away. On the right, point, flex, point and reach, strengthen, lengthen, good job. On the left, point, flex, reach and lengthen, last set. On the right, point, flex, reach and send it away. On the left, point, flex, point, and extend. Open the legs out to the width of your mat. Turn your heels in and your toes out. Face towards the mat. Pull the belly away from the floor. Reach your hands up overhead. Pinkies into the mat. Thumbs facing the ceiling. And your elbows touch the top corners of your mat. Your knees touch the bottom corners of your mat. Pull your belly away. Squeeze your glutes. And then on your inhale, slide your shoulders down and back and lift your chest just a little bit. The bottom of your rib cage is still touching the mat. Exhale, reach those fingers away and pull the toes up. Inhale, drop the toes, slide the pinkies back, lift the chest. Exhale, reach the fingers, lengthen the chest, pick up the feet. Inhale, shoulders back, lift the spine. Exhale, reach, lengthen, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, pull it in. Make sure you're protecting everything with your belly. Exhale, lift the feet. And then drop everything down. Slide the hands into your chest. Push yourself back into your shell stretch. Hips to heels. Belly to thighs, and then draw the belly away from the thighs, rounding through the back, creating that strong turtle shell shape. And then roll all the way up till you come up on your knees. And then find this balance on your knees. Your knees are directly under your sit bones, and your glutes are pulling down towards your hamstrings. We're going to float our hands up with our palms facing each other so that they're at shoulder height. And we're just going to hinge back, reach the hands, and then circle the hands wide into our hips as we stack the body back up. Hinge back, hold the hinge, reach the arms overhead to that long line, and then circle them around back to your knees. Hinge, hands come to shoulder height, belly is pulled in. Reach to challenge that long line, and then pull it all back in. Reach and hinge, lift, circle around. We're going to change direction. Hinge back as you circle the arms overhead. Exhale back to standing. Circle and hinge. And come back up. Sorry, not standing, kneeling over those knees. Lean back, circle those hands overhead, and then back to your starting point. One more time. Keep those glutes engaged. And then sit your hips back onto your heels. Bring your hands back behind you with your fingertips facing forward. Push into the feet. Drop your head back. And then drop the hips. Bring your hands around so you can flip yourself over onto your sit bones. And then just get that space between your knees that you can fit one apple between your knees, and your feet are flat on the floor, and your spine is nice and tall and long. Grab onto the back of your knees and just stay here for a minute. And then we're just going to go into a spine stretch forward just to breathe and lengthen our spine. So bring your hands to the outside of your shins and wrapping around the top, and just let your shoulders relax. Stack your spine. And then when you're ready, nod your chin gently and begin to round your spine forward. Keep your pelvis perpendicular, but flex the spine till your forehead comes onto your knees. Pull the belly away from the thighs. Try not to jam your chin into your chest. So we've got this flexion, but we're not just trying to squeeze our chin in. Our legs are engaged so they stay that apple distance away. We're going to inhale through our nose and feel our rib cage spread and expand into our back. And exhale, breathing out through our mouth with that slightly resisted breath. And feel the pelvic floor connect and the rib cage close back down and in. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then another inhale. And as you exhale, stack your spine back up to seated, lengthening all the way. Bring your hands on top of each other, palms facing away and in front of your forehead. From here, you're going to curl the sit bones under, so you get this little scoop in your lower abdomen, but your torso stays nice and tall. Push your big toes in the floor. Feel like you're dragging your heels towards your hips and curl back a little bit more. Your weight should pretty much be on your tailbone now. And then we're going to flex the torso forward. Look at your belly button. Inhale, lengthen. Look at the crease between the ceiling and the wall. Exhale, flex. Look at your belly button. Inhale, lengthen. Crease with the wall. Keep that lower tail tucked under, really challenging the abdominals here. And lengthen up. Exhale, flex. Inhale, use that lateral three-dimensional breath to stack the spine. Last one, flex. Inhale, lengthen, and then lift the body back up onto the sit bones. Bring your hands back to your shins, nod your chin, and flex over the front of the thighs. 2 deep breaths, inhaling, letting the back of the ribcage expand. Exhaling, letting the ribcage close in. And then stack the spine back up to seated. Now this time, bring your big toes together and then drop and your heels together and drop your knees out to this little diamond shape. So you've got a nice wide diamond, but it's supported. Don't just let your knees collapse to the side. Sit up nice and tall and then bring your hands in front of your chest in an O shape. We're going to curl back behind those sit bones onto the tailbone and then twist to the left and center. Twist to the right like a corkscrew and center. Keep squeezing those heels together, pushing those toes into the floor, connecting the pelvic floor, tucking the tail under. We're looking at our fingertips, not at our belly. We've got a slight C curve through the whole spine and twisting from the tailbone to the crown of the head into center. Left, center, and lengthen back up. Close the knees, separate the feet, hands on the shins, and fold the body forward. 2 deep breaths. Inhale, spreading the intercostals wide, breathing into the lower lobes of the lungs. Exhale, resisting that breath, drawing the pelvic floor up and the rib cage down and in. And stack the spine back up to seated. Good. From here, bring your fingertips back behind you, fingers facing forward, and then gently lower yourself down onto your elbows. Push your chest away from the floor, keep your spine in neutral, and then extend your right leg, extend your left leg, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, and look to your toes. Hold it here, pulling the navel in, looking towards the feet. If it's too much on your neck, you can look at the crease between the ceiling and the wall. And then lower the hips, bend the knees, lengthen the spine back to neutral. And we're going to pick up the right leg to tabletop and then the left leg and squeeze our feet together like they're one. So keep that chest lifted and challenge these abdominals. And we're just going to tap both feet down towards the floor and lift them up. And reach them away. Lift them up. Reach. And lift. Reach. Keep pulling that rib cage down, really controlling that movement, hugging the lower back in with the ribs and the abdominals. Last one, double tap, reach, pull it in, and then curl the spine, bring the lower back down to the mat, slide your hands towards your hips, and the legs stay up in tabletop. Now from here, open your arms to a T, open your feet to hip distance, and then place your feet down on the mat. Swivel your knees over to the right side, look to the left. Draw the ribs towards the belly, pull the navel in and bring those knees back into center and then swivel them over to the left. Look to the right. Pull the rib cage in, navel in, back into center. Last time, swivel over the right, look to the left. Into center, over the right. Knees go to the left. Pull the ribs in, into center, hands back in towards the hips. Keep the spine in neutral, tabletop your right leg. Now push that lower back into the mat, tabletop your left leg. Reach your hands towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Now we're going to reach our right hand overhead. I want you to lift your back away from the mat a little bit and challenge this neutral. So if that hurts your back, push it in, keep it in imprint. Otherwise, try and get it in neutral. But don't let your rib cage lift as you reach that hand overhead. Keep the ribs down and the belly really nice and flat as you reach your right hand towards the floor. My hand can't reach the floor while I control my abdominals, so I'll be really surprised if you can, unless you're 20 and you've never had any shoulder injuries and you've got abs of steel. Exhale, bring the hand back to center. Challenge the left hand, reach it overhead. Keep those ribs down. It's not an abdominal exercise, but you have to use your abdominals to stabilize that rib cage. Now we're going to reach the right foot and the left hand away from each other, opening the hip and then closing it in. Right hand, left foot. So remember, we're not just bending the knee to drop the foot to the floor, we're opening the hip to drop the toe to the floor. And you want to keep your spine connected with the navel. Don't know if you can see me because the light's changing with the sun. But you want to keep everything zipped in nice and strong. Belly is on fire to protect your lower back. Reach with the right and the left foot. Reach with the left hand and the right foot. Last one, right to left. Last one, left to right. Everything into center. Grab onto the back of the knees. Kick the feet up to the ceiling. Flex the sternum up towards the front of the thighs and pull yourself into this crunched position with your toes facing the ceiling. Really point the toes and energize through the front of the thighs. Plant your lower back into the mat. Roll your ribcage towards your sternum. And then we're going to lower the left leg and pull the right leg towards us. Squeeze the glute on the left and let that leg hover. You can slide your hands up towards your ankle or the back of your calf and hold it there. And then slide the hand down, switch the legs, reach for the left leg, stretch the right leg away. Enjoy that deep stretch in the hamstring on the left. Pulling the belly in, using the arms to help support your core while you lift yourself up. And then switch. Stretching the right hamstring, reaching the left leg away. And switch. And now we're going to pick it up and challenge those abdominals. So you're going to inhale, exhale, switch, and pulse the legs for 2. Inhale, exhale, switch, and pulse. Inhale, exhale, switch, pulse, and pulse. Don't jam the chin into the chest. Use your glutes to lower that opposite leg. Last set. Both legs up to the ceiling. Curl up a little more. Lower the head and shoulders. Bend the knees. Place the right foot on the floor. Articulate through the toe ball heel. The left foot on the floor. Articulate toe ball heel. Bring your palms to the floor. Slide your heels back till they touch your palms. Feet are hip distance or 1 apple distance away from each other. Roll your shoulders down and back. Pull the navel towards the floor. Push into the heels and gently, sequentially peel your spine away from the floor. Squeeze your glutes, draw a long line from your knees all the way to your shoulders. And breathe. Keep contracting those glutes to keep those hips lifted. One more inhale. And on your exhale, roll your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time, controlling any wobbles side to side and release to your neutral. Pick your right leg up to tabletop, push that lower back into the mat. Pick your left leg up to tabletop, float the hands up to the ceiling, widen the collarbone, inhale, exhale, nod the chin, flex the upper thoracic spine, reach your hands towards the opposite side of the room, and let's pump our arms for 5, 10, 15, 20, and you can straighten your legs if you want to, or keep them bent. 25, 30, 35, keep the belly pulled in. 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Lower the legs a little bit longer if you want to challenge yourself more. 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, don't jam that chin into the chest. 95, 100, and bend the knees, flex up a little bit more. Lower the head and shoulders, lower the feet, shoulder distance, hands out to the side, drop the knees to the right, look to the left. Your right foot will be in line with your left knee, or your left knee rests on your right foot. Pull the belly in, swap sides. Knees back into center, hug the knees into the chest, feet come to the ceiling, and then use your momentum to roll like a ball and come all the way up to seated. And then turn yourself over onto your side. Bring your left elbow down onto your left shoulder. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked. Create this long line from your hip to your shoulder. And then we're going to lift with the knee. Then hold the knee there, lift the heel, close the knee in, close the heel. Lift, lift, lower, lower. So you're drawing these little circles with your knee. Or with your foot, I guess. Lift, lift, lower, lower. So lateral rotation, parallel, medial rotation, parallel. Look, squeeze, squeeze, hold it there. Lift the top leg up to hip height, reach it away, pull it back behind you. Now create this long line, lower the body down, head in the hand, pick that bottom waistline away. We're going to lower and lift it up, flex the ankle, drag it down. Point and lift, flex and drag. So we're really concentrating. We don't have to worry so much about our balance because we've got that bottom knee bent. But we do have to concentrate on pulling that bottom waistline away from the floor because our head is lifted. So naturally our bottom waistline wants to collapse, but we're really focusing on drawing it in while we work the sides of those glutes. Point and lift, flex and lower, last one, point and lift, flex and lower, now point and circles forward. Little circles, don't make them huge, keep the foot in parallel. Again, drawing that waistline away from the floor. So you really want to keep both waistlines nice and long. Last one, forward, change direction. Forward, up, back, and down. Don't kick the foot forward too much or you'll lose the glute connection and it'll start to go into the hip flexors. So make sure that that foot doesn't come too far forward. Keep pulling the waistline away from the floor. Last one. Now bend that knee in and hug it in towards your chest and drop it towards the floor. Bring the knees back on top of each other. Push the weight into your hand. So your elbow is under your shoulder again. And now this time, pick both knees up and rock the weight over so you're sat on the fleshy bit between your hip bone and your thigh bone. And get that elbow pushed into the floor, shoulder away from the floor, waistline away from the floor, knees lifted, belly in, and then pick those feet up to tabletop. Reach your right hand overhead. Now you can hold it here or you can reach and bend. Reach and bend. 3, pull it in, keep hugging that belly in, 4, 5, 3 more, 3, keep pushing the elbow into the floor, 2, 1, hold it out there, now lower the bottom leg and squeeze, and pull it in, 7, 6, challenge that long line, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bend your knees, roll back over to the side, top leg over the bottom, stretch it out, and then let's flip ourselves over to the other side. So on the elbow first, push the elbow into the floor, stack the hips, stack the knees, pull the navel in, and then dorsiflex the ankles, squeeze those heels together. We're going to open the knee, we'll separate the feet, close the knee, close the feet. So squeeze the heels, get that opening from the hip, from the glute, then lift with the bum, then close it in using the inner thigh, and close using the glute. So lift, lift, close, close the whole time, pelvic floor is lifted, navel pulled in, drop and drop, push into the shoulders, keep that waistline lifted and long as you draw these circles with your knee and your ankle, like you're trying to do an egg beater kick swimming. Last one, lift the knee, lift the heel, close the knee, close the heel, and then reach that top leg out long, lift it up to hip height, lower the body down to the mat, pull the waistline away from the floor, reach that leg away. Now we're going to lift, flex the ankle, squeeze the inner thighs together, but don't let it touch the floor. Point and lift, flex and lower. Keep pushing that hip bone away from your shoulder and lifting that bottom waistline. Remember, we don't have to worry about our balance so much because we have our bottom leg bent. So we're really focusing on pulling that bottom waistline away from the floor. Point, lift, flex, lower, 2 more, point, lift, flex, lower, last one, point, lift, keep that waistline long, lower, now point, circles forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down. Keep pushing that hip away from the rib cage. Breathing slowly, controlling the movement of that leg, not letting the body rock forward and backward. And let's change direction. Back, up, forward, and down. Keep the waistline off of the mat. Last one. Good job. And then bring that knee in front of the other knee. Stretch out those glutes a little bit. Stack the knees on top of each other. Come back onto the elbow. Get that elbow connected, waistline connected, and then rock the weight back, lifting the knees off the floor till you're on that fleshy bit on the side of your glutes. When you're ready there, reach the hand, lift the feet off the floor, and again, you can stay here in this tabletop position, or you can reach and bend for 8. Reach and bend. Keep pushing that elbow into the floor, shoulder away from the ear, navel pulled right into the spine. 4 more. Pull it in. 3. Point those toes. 1. Hold it there. Drop the bottom leg. Squeeze it up for 8. And 7. Really working those abs here, guys. 6. Lengthen the body. Pull the belly in. And disappearing with the light. 4. Talking to you from the other side. 2. Last one. Hold it up. Bend both knees. Drop them down right in front of the left. And then fold both legs over top of each other and come back onto your knees. Now get your knees directly underneath your sit bones, but you want to be sideways on your mat. And we're going to just rock the way over to the left side, straighten the right leg out nice and long, lift the right arm overhead, place the hand behind the head, and then turn the leg laterally. So your toes and your knee faces the sky, your heel faces the floor. And we're going to lift that leg up, bend in crunch, reach it out for 3. Crunch, reach and extend for 2. Crunch, last one, and then lower the foot, slide it away, lift the body, cartwheel the arms, and stretch the body over. Cartwheel the arms back, hands come back to the floor, hand comes back to the head, leg lifts. This time we're going to pull it in, knee to nose. Close it in for 1, reach it away. In for 2, and reach. Last one, in for 3, reach it out, drop it down, slide it away, cartwheel the arms, side bend. And last set, hand comes to the floor, other hand behind the head, lift the leg up, and we're going to kick the leg forward, pull it back. Don't let the torso change shape. Kick it forward, pull it back. Kick it forward, pull it back, drop the foot, slide it away, gentle side bend, and all the way back over. Hand behind the head, drop those knees in. Let's go over to the other side. Drop the hand behind the head, reach the leg out, lift the leg up to hip height. So our first one is that lateral rotation, elbow towards the sky, knee towards the sky, elbow towards the knee for 3, 2, 1, reach it out, drop the foot, slide it away, cartwheel the arms, side stretch to the left. And lengthen up, hand comes down, lift the leg, hand behind the head, knee to nose, pull it in. 3, 2, 1, reach it out, toe comes down, side bend. Stack it back, last one. Lift the leg, flex the foot, kick it forward, pull it back, forward and back. Last one, pull it back, drop it down, cartwheel the arms, side stretch, and stack the body, knees in together, drop your hips onto your heels, bring your hands in front of your hips and just come into a deep fold. Roll your belly away from the front of your thighs. Lengthen the spine with your hands on the floor. Lift your hips, curl your toes under, and then push your legs straight. Walk your hands into a forward fold. And then on your next exhale, soften your knees, round your spine, stack the body one vertebrae at a time, all the way to standing. And that's it, you're done for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that, working the body through all planes of movement, definitely challenging the core and the hip stability, and we'll see you again.